When children ask their parents why dogs chase cats, why deer are so skittish, how birds are able to fly, how flies have such fast reaction speeds, how Tesla makes such good trucks, parents will typically respond with, "It's just who they are. It's in their DNA." But this answer assumes you know what DNA is. That's a good question. What is DNA itself? We hear so much about DNA, it's in our everyday language. But what really is DNA? That is what we're going to explore in this video. First, you have to understand what living things are. All living things, all organisms on the earth are made of cells. Cells are tiny, tiny subunits of life. They're the fundamental building block of living things. We say that because nothing can be smaller than a cell or less than a cell and be considered life. Most living things are just singular cells floating around. But there's also other things that are really just cells teaming up. Just like you, for example. Your body is made up of tens of trillions of cells. Tens of trillions of them. A gargantuan number. But everything comes down to just being singular cells. So now I can tell you what DNA is. DNA is a type of macromolecule that exists in every single cell on the earth. In every plant, every fungus, every animal, and a few other subcategories of life. This molecule is not the exact same in every individual, but inside of an individual, the DNA molecule will be an exact copy. You have DNA in every single one of your cells, and that DNA is the same. Every cell in your body. But your DNA molecule is different from the DNA molecule in another person, or a plant, or a bug, or a mushroom. Okay, so that is DNA. But you're probably wondering what DNA does and why it even exists. I mean, what's the point of this molecule? DNA has the very important job of storing your body's genetic information. It's the entire set of instructions that your body needs to keep you alive and to operate. When you develop from a fetus into a child and then eventually into an adult, DNA is there to make sure that you develop in the right process. It makes sure that your bones know how to grow longer or how your muscles know how to get stronger. DNA is how your brain knows how to develop and grow and form the right patterns that it needs to form a competent adult. DNA is also necessary when you get injured. DNA is how your body knows how to heal from that injury and how to recover from it. When you are going through puberty, your DNA has all the instructions your body needs for your development. If you have an injury you need to heal from, DNA is how your body knows how to recover from the injury and how to rebuild any damaged parts. If you need to fight off a viral or bacterial infection, your DNA is the only way that your body knows how to fight that. The DNA inside of your body acts as a construction worker. It acts as a wartime general. It acts as a mechanic. DNA is how the cells in your body know how to reproduce, how to operate day to day. It even tells them when they're supposed to die. So how exactly does DNA work? What exactly is going on with DNA? I mean, how does it do that? It's just a molecule, right? How does it store all this information? Well, when we say genetic information, we don't mean like a manual is just folded up a bunch of times and put inside your cells. That's not what it is. Instead, DNA is a molecule that is a chain of nucleotides, or a polynucleotide. Poly meaning many, nucleotide meaning the molecule that acts as the individual letters of your DNA. So just like words can be built up from individual letters put in certain orders, DNA can store genetic information by putting orders of nucleotides in the right sequence. The information inside of your body is encoded in the order of the nucleotides that are inside of your DNA molecules. So we do have 26 letters of the English alphabet, but DNA only has 4. They do, it's just how it is. The 4 letters are G for guanine, A for adenine, C for cytosine, and T for thymine. Like I said, all the information to make you is encoded in just a long chain of these 4 molecules. It's something like A, G, C, T, C, C, just that for like a really long time. Your nucleotides form a very long sequence. Human DNA specifically is incredibly long. Also interesting is that DNA itself is not a singular strand. It's 2 of them. These 2 strands merge together and they twist in this distinct ladder shape called a double-helix. These 2 strands come together and their nucleotides meet in the middle to form something called a hydrogen bond. The hydrogen bond is one of the strongest known bonds in all of chemistry. Even more interesting than that, only some nucleotides can form hydrogen bonds with other nucleotides. So A can only form this hydrogen bond with T, and G can only form a bond with C. This means that all of the information inside of one strand is kind of mirrored. It's also encoded in the second strand as well. So when these two polymers separate, which they typically do multiple times throughout your cell's life cycle, they can still hold the genetic information. Each strand holds the same data. So this is the reason that individual letters inside of your DNA is not typically referred to as a nucleotide. It's more often referred to as a base pair. But there's one major problem with this approach, however. DNA strands are super long, like really, really long. Like I said earlier, the human DNA sequence is massive. I'm not talking just the data itself, but just physically, the molecules themselves are super long. If you took all the DNA inside of a singular cell and stretched it out, you would die. That was a joke. If you took all the DNA inside a singular cell and stretched it out, it would be about 6 feet long. And remember, this is all inside one cell. So if you took all the DNA in every cell inside your body and stretched it out end to end, it would be ridiculously long. Like you could take it from the Earth to the moon 1,500 times. So clearly you need some way to take this long strand and package it in a way. Your body still needs to be able to access it, but you can't have it out everywhere because it's huge. It's way too long to keep it like that. Luckily, your body has done that. It's figured out a way. What happens with DNA is that it will form these tight coils, very, very tight, to where the DNA is accessible, but it's not taking up a tremendous amount of space. These coils themselves form a distinct shape called a chromosome. You ever heard that term before? These chromosomes are so compact that inside of a human cell, they can just be tucked away in the center of the cell, called the nucleus. And they really don't take up that much space at all. It's amazing how beautiful and effective this natural biological information system is. It is so good. Every bit of information that your body has to make you is stored in that sequence, but it's packed so tightly and so compactly, but it's also so easy to read and access. DNA is truly a beautiful, beautiful thing. So like we said, DNA is the basic information system of the body that becomes important when you need to develop into an adult, heal from an injury, or fight off any viruses. It's essentially all the information that makes you, you. The shocking thing about DNA is that we didn't figure out about it until really recently. It was 1953 that DNA was found out to be the main way your body stores genetic information. Before then, we really didn't have any clue how the body stored information. Crazy, right? Since 1953, our understanding of DNA and genetics itself has increased many, many times over. We know so much more and we're learning more so much every single day. It's likely that in the future, my lifetime and your lifetime will be determined by what we can accomplish with genetic engineering. That's a fancy word for changing the base pairs in the DNA molecule to give us desirable effects. Many people see genetic engineering as a way to combat infectious diseases, get rid of genetic illnesses, among other things. It's a very controversial idea. We'll see where it leads. There remains a lot of research to be done, a lot of work to be done, and a lot to figure out. So until then, this has been Davey Science. Thanks for watching.